All right, it's your boy Spank Dog, aka Pufferstein at YouTube. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Let's get to it.
Now, there are a few things I do want to go ahead and talk about in today's video. For example, it seems like we're coming up on another ritualistic day, something like the April 8th solar eclipse. But before we go ahead and talk about that stuff, really quick, I do want to go ahead and talk about what's currently taking place at the Grand Canyon. Now, for those that are aware, I have made a few videos on this topic, this massive wildfire with this very unique name, the Dragon Bravos Fire. This supposed wildfire is really ravaging the Grand Canyon, and supposedly it all started with a lightning strike on July 4th.
Why would you make the name like it was cool or something?
Firefighters, they go out there, they're battling the fires. They were able to contain it, yet for whatever reason, this thing exploded, and now there's pretty much 0% containment, and they cannot control this fire. It has now gone to the point where it's no longer considered a wildfire, but now considered a megafire. And not just that, the Dragon's Bravo fire is creating its own weather. I mean, have you ever heard anything like this before, especially when it comes to the Grand Canyon? But reading this article from CBS News, which was published August 1st, Grand Canyon, Utah wildfires creating fire clouds that can form their own weather systems. What is even more interesting is that every time the firefighters believe they are increasing the containment on the Dragon's Bravo fire, these massive clouds come along and basically fuel the flames. Continue to read the article. It says towering convection clouds known as pyrocumulus clouds, basically fire clouds, have been spotted over Arizona's blaze for 7 consecutive days.
The cloud looked crazy. Did you see that? I've never seen nothing like that.
Fueling the fire with dry, powerful winds, Fire Information Officer Lisa Jennings said. She also says there's another cloud out there called the pyrocumulonimbus cloud. You don't know how many takes I had to do to actually say that correctly, if I even did. But she said that this specific cloud sent out rapid winds shooting in all directions this week as a smoke column formed from the Utah fire, then it collapsed on itself. This is crazy, and this does not sound like something that was created solely by nature. But the article goes on to say multiple fire crews in Utah were forced to retreat Wednesday as the unpredictable weather created by the clouds threatened their safety. Fire crews in both Utah and Arizona had better control of the blazes, but like I said, containment had been slipping as the fire grows rapidly. Because again, as they're getting closer to containment, these clouds are making it much worse. But get this.
I don't understand how we could get to space, walk on the moon, try to get to Mars, put up satellites everywhere, James Webb Telescope, and we can't even address fires that start in the forest. There's got to be a way to keep the forest from going up in smoke like that.
The article goes on to say the same type of cloud, which the National Aeronautics and Space Administration, NASA, has dubbed the fire-breathing dragon of clouds, recently formed a fire tornado that tore through an eastern Utah neighborhood with wind speeds estimated at 122 miles per hour. And
you shouldn't even play with the name like that or try to put some cool name on it, like Alpha Bravo Fire, Dragon Fire.
What is up with them using the word dragon? I mean, I get it, fire, dragon, but you really don't think of dragons when you think of the Grand Canyon. But Dragon, Bravo, it sounds military. This does not sound natural whatsoever. The tribes, the animals inside the Grand Canyon, they're being wiped out. And not just that, the mystery inside the Grand Canyon itself, the artifacts are all being destroyed. And on top of all of this, I guess it'll be much easier for them to now go ahead and...
Yeah, they said there was stuff in the Grand Canyon that the government was hiding. I don't know how true it is.
On that uranium, which exists in abundance inside the Grand Canyon. On a side note, when it comes to the next location to face a very suspicious quote-unquote natural disaster, I'm going to go ahead and roll the dice and say, keep New Mexico in mind. Reading this article, which was published by Source NM on August 1st, it's titled, Anti-Uranium Exhibit Opening Friday in Santa Fe Seeks to Decolonize Maps. The article goes on to say, as President Donald Trump and multinational corporations push to dig the first new uranium mines in New Mexico in more than 50 years, Shayla Blatchford's exhibit opening today in Santa Fe seeks to equip people, mostly indigenous people, with the tools to fight back. So basically, in a nutshell, the federal government has recently prioritized several uranium mines. The only problem happens to be is that these mines are located where the Navajo Nation currently resides. These people will have to move from their ancestral lands, and if they
You barely gave them any land after you annihilated their people, and now because there's something of value on their land, you're gonna make them move. You're not gonna compensate them, like, and I mean handsomely.
don't, nature will force their hand and make them move, just like we saw nature made people move in North Carolina, Hawaii, and so forth. So again, like I said, just keep a lookout for New Mexico. Not only does Santa Fe hold the uranium mines that the government wants, but also is the fact that Santa Fe is actively working towards becoming a smart city with a focus on sustainability and waste management. So that is double the motivation for weather to come along and basically sweep these people off the map. And if you're not convinced yet that something may happen in Santa Fe,
How hard is it to just do it the right way? Like, if you really need it that bad and they're holding out, then compensate them to the point where there's no way they'll say no. Don't bully them.
along the lines of a weather event, take a look at these news articles here, like this article from Newsweek that was published on March 23rd, 2025. A home insurance storm is brewing in this state. The article goes on to say a potential property insurance crisis looms over New Mexico, a wildfire-prone state where more than 1 in 5 homeowners don't have insurance coverage, according to recent reports, and non-renewables are becoming more common in most vulnerable areas. And not just that, but these insurance companies are also dropping people, something like what we saw with other states like California. I believe it was also North Carolina and others that had wildfires not too shortly after.
In the place where they're having the wildfires, they're deciding to not cover fire insurance.
Article even mentions the LA fires by saying the recent wildfires in Los Angeles County, California, have proven how difficult it can be for uninsured homeowners to recover from such devastating extreme weather event. Should a catastrophic natural disaster hit New Mexico, many homeowners tend to lose everything. Now, homeowners insurance companies are adjusting their practices, which includes dropping policies in areas identified as high risk for wildfire in an effort to manage their overall risk. This has affected homeowners in the greater Santa Fe fireshed, making it more challenging and expensive to find suitable coverage. There are also other locations in Santa Fe where coverage is being dropped as well. So like I said, just keep Santa Fe or New Mexico as a whole in mind. In other news, in the beginning of this video, I said that it seems like we might be coming up on another ritualistic day, something along the lines of the April 8th solar eclipse. Now, I have seen a lot of people on social media and news articles heavily talking about this 2025 August 8th Lionsgate portal, which is basically a zodiac cosmic event that happens every year, but for whatever reason, 2025 will be the most transformative. So I was like, whatever, I'm not going to go ahead and talk about it. Apparently, it's something that happens every year. I mean, I personally never heard of this before, but I guess it is a known event. But reading this article right here, it goes on to say, in 2025, the Lionsgate portal peaking on August 8th promises heightened energy for manifestation and spiritual growth across all zodiac signs.
Lionsgate, what a coincidence. They're a movie production company.
This astrological event offers opportunities for new beginnings, personal empowerment, and significant shifts in destiny. Each sign can harness this potent energy to rewrite their story and achieve their aspirations through focused intentions and rituals. Every August, a cosmic event captures the attention of spiritual seekers and astrology lovers around the world, the Lionsgate portal. But in 2025, the energy is predicted to be especially strong and transformative, with the Lionsgate portal peaking on August 8th. 8-8. Now, I'm not a numerology person. I don't do things by the numbers. I'm not a gematria person. But there are exceptions, like when it comes with the number 33, because we know the number 33 is also attached to a very ritualistic organization. You have some people out there saying that the frequency that the number 33 appears in these news stories is just a coincidence, with one person telling me, well, it took me 33 minutes to take a dump. Does that make me a Mason? Or I had another person tell me, well, I caught my neighbor on Ring camera visiting my wife 33 times when I was at work. Does that make him a Mason? Like, those are personal problems. Right.
Yeah, right.
but whatever your whatever rituals your
Yeah, like he's cracking up. The guy, he don't think he's thinking.
but whatever your whatever rituals your neighbor is doing to your wife is not my business. But when we have these grander news stories that don't make any sense whatsoever, but in big bold titles on these news stories we constantly are flooded with the 33 calling card, then we can connect it.
Do you guys think that 33 means anything? Because I've been through that with the number 13, and there's other ones, how everything adds up to 666. I've been through that one. I've had people show me on the dollar bill all sorts of things that add up to certain numbers. But as of recently in the present, the one that I hear a lot, whether it's from this channel or maybe even other channels, is the number 33. Do you guys think that there's anything attached to that number?
Right back to a certain organization that considers themselves the architects of this world, where their highest number is 33. This becomes a bigger problem because they're showing us that these are scripted events. So this brings my attention to the number 88 and August 8th, because for whatever reason, we are seeing the number 88 pop up quite often lately. For example, we had Pope Francis passing away at 88, and on that exact same day, we had Klaus Schwab, the World Economic Forum chairman, saying he's stepping down from the World Economic Forum in his 88th year. There are many other examples of the number 88 appearing in big news, like, for example, the 8.8 magnitude earthquake that happened near Russia. But what really caught my attention about this whole Lionsgate portal and August 8th was this news right here. Trump wants to end Russia's war in Ukraine by August 8th. What is so important about August 8th, besides a day that's known for rituals, manifestation, and controlling your own destiny? The article goes on to say, and I'm reading this from Reuters, United States President Donald Trump has made clear that he wants a deal to end Russia's war in Ukraine by August 8th, the United States told the United Nations Security Council on Thursday. Both Russia and Ukraine must.
I want the war to end in the Ukraine, because I don't want to see any more Ukrainian people be hurt because Putin is a lunatic. I know it's maybe deeper than that, but maybe it's not. But regardless, I want the Ukraine to stop suffering, the people in the Ukraine to stop suffering. And if there's people in Russia going through it, which I'm pretty sure there is, they're going through it over the war. I don't think Putin cares too much about his people. God bless them too, and I hope that the people in Russia start to do better also.
Let's negotiate a ceasefire and durable peace. It is time to make a deal. President Trump has made clear this must be done by August 8th. But this isn't the only other news story that involves Trump and the number 88. For example, this news story right here that was published on June 18th, Trump installs pair of 88-foot tall new flagpoles at the White House. The placement of the two 88-foot tall flagpoles, one on the north lawn and one on the south lawn, began early in the morning of June 18th. But here's the thing, when it comes to August 8th, what they're telling us is a ritualistic day. We're not going to see anything along the lines of chaos, explosions, or a very big news story, but we're going to go ahead and see something along the lines of, again, what we saw with the April 8th solar eclipse, where it was just one giant ritual. We had certain...
But I haven't gone out of my way to watch an eclipse in ages. And they've always told us since we were young, if you look directly at the eclipse, you could go blind or something like that. I'm not a big eclipse watcher, but, I am kind of curious when the next one is.
Out there firing off the Large Hadron Collider looking for dark matter, and at the same exact time, NASA's firing off 3 rockets called the Devil. Peter Higgs, who the God particle is named after, just happens to pass away. And this would be the very first time we would see these black flying things in the skies above Texas. And then the very next day, we have the Bove Island anomaly. Then a couple days prior to the April 8th solar eclipse, 4/8, there is a 4.8 magnitude earthquake in New York, which kind of mirrors this 8.8 magnitude earthquake that happened only a couple weeks before August 8th. So I think we're coming up to another ritualistic shift that will have ramifications for some time. We have all these news articles and people all over social media telling people to manifest, to now is the time to summon things over, talking about entities and so forth. The number 88, August 8th, is also.
Do me a favor, guys. If you believe that they've opened a porthole somewhere between the Hadron Collider and the Ice Cube neutrino detector, let me know if you guys think that there's any cracks in the dimension, any portholes where you think people have come through.
Also a Sirius ritual as well. Reading this right here, 88 in numerology represents infinity and DNA activation, allowing us to take this Sirius energy and infuse it into the very core of our being. Why is it called the Lion's Gate? The rising of Sirius, which ancient astrologers celebrated as the rebirth of spirit, happens to occur right in the heart of Leo season, which is ruled by the lion, which is kind of interesting given the fact that the new pope calls himself Leo after Leo the lion. So again, it feels like we are going to be entering into one giant ritual, but this video from the Fittest Flat Earther is very eye-opening when it comes to the number 88. And like I said, a lot of people feel a certain way about this guy because of his certain beliefs or what he chooses to name himself, but his beliefs are his own. But this video is a good one.
I agree with him, what he said about this guy right here, that his beliefs are his own, because I think his name is the Flat Earther, so he probably catches heat over that. But if you think the earth is flat, that's not my business.
What could the Simpsons, Mountain Dew, Hulk Hogan, and Aaron Rodgers all have to do with each other? Stick around. You'll find out. You see, something I've become quite adept at is pattern recognition and truth in plain sight. In the past few weeks, I couldn't help but notice a specific pattern developing. It actually started when I watched the Aaron Rodgers documentary and how he switched to number 8. And hey, that's a funny hand symbol. I wonder what that means. But not only did he switch to number 8, but he also got an 8 or infinity looking tattoo. So 8 and 8. But it didn't stop there because he was also wearing an H and H hat. And H is the 8th letter of the alphabet. So again, 8 and 8. But it wasn't just one hat, it was multiple H and H. And while harder to see, again, H and H. And not too long after I watched that documentary on Aaron Rodgers and all his 8 and 8 and H and H, Hulk Hogan passed away. And well, again, H and H, or 8 and 8, 8th letter of the alphabet. And shortly after that, did you hear about the earthquake off the coast of Russia that was an 8.8 on the Richter scale? And very shortly after that, I saw a picture from space, from the Hubble Space Telescope, from 8,000 light years away. That, again, just happened to look like an 8. So 8 and 8,000. Are they trying to tell us something? And on the very 1st of August, 88 energy updates on the Small Holdings facility. Big news. 88 again. But there's more. Did you know that Trump had 88 criminal charges against him? And during the campaign, when you were supposed to text to support him, 88.
Yeah, there's another 33, it seems.
Just to interject here really quick, when it comes to Donald Trump, the Mar-a-Lago FBI raid also took place on August 8th.
I'm a fitness enthusiast, and I enjoy watching the CrossFit games. And as I was watching them, and I have all these 8s hitting me in the back of the head the past couple weeks, I think to myself, I know that there are some people connected at the top of the CrossFit games who are Masons, Freemasons. So I decided to look to see what the 8th event is of the CrossFit games this year. And well, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 happened to be called Going Dark. And that made me think of all the past few years of people talking about how there's a blackout coming. And it made me think of the Mountain Dew cans that have all the predictive programming like Maui Burst, and just look into the predictive programming of Mountain Dew. But this one in particular, Mountain Dew Pitch Black. And well, that's not it with Mountain Dew, because Mountain Dew seems to like the number 88.
I mean, he found him.
as well. And while predictive programming made me think of The Simpsons, in the 88th episode of The Simpsons, just happened to deal with some rioting. And I couldn't help but notice that the movie Blackout just happened to come out in 1988. And that the Cubs
So he's predicting a blackout too, I believe.
just magically got lights for the first time on August 8th, you guessed it, 88. Now, could all these eights be a coincidence? I don't think so. Especially not when he holds up that symbol and he mocks the only people in the world that truly know what is going on and where they live, and just happen to change his number and get a tattoo and wear a bunch of H's on his hat the year his documentary comes out, along with all the other nonsense. And I mean nonsense.
You think this is a real thing with the 88 and Aaron Rodgers?
Do you think that's real? You really think that's real? And you really think it was that exact number? Now, I'm not a fear guy whatsoever, but I wouldn't be surprised if on August 8th this year, or another one not too far down the line, had a little bit of darkness, if you get what I'm saying. Pitch black, maybe. All this for entertainment purposes.
Let me tell you something. If he predicts that, like if on August 8th there's a blackout,
I'm sure that all those eights and H's were all just a coincidence. And my mind just sees patterns that aren't really there. That's all it is. This is all for your entertainment. I wouldn't worry about it. Oh, but seriously, I wouldn't worry about it, because the only thing to fear is fear itself. We're spiritual beings and just here for an experience, and everything's going to be all right. I promise.
So we have a lot of people out there using 8-8, the Lionsgate portal, for their own self-health, meditations, and so forth, manifestations. But at the same time, we have news and media really pushing this, and we know who the news and media are owned and operated by. You're giving your energies, and at the same time, the so-called powers that be are also using this specific date. Just like with the April 8th solar eclipse, how there was suspiciously a lot of articles out there and people on social media telling you to give your energies during this solar eclipse to make yourself open for spiritual manifestation. This next set of videos comes from Montana Jackson, and she believes she found a very interesting shop on TikTok that is very similar to the whole Wayfair situation and human trafficking.
I just found some suspicious stuff on TikTok shop. So I was scrolling through my regular feed and came across this. Notice the price tag. Clicked on the shop. Heaven's Child. $7,600 for a t-shirt. A cotton t-shirt that's got Jesus stuff on it, which is fine. Heaven's Child. That's, better be very high quality print. My gosh, $7,600. There's only 2 things listed. And this one comes with different sizes, but they don't provide a sizing chart. Really long delivery time too. Machine washable, cold wash. I don't think this is an actual t-shirt. I think Heaven's Child is selling children. I don't know. Somebody needs to investigate this, because this is insane. $7,600 for a TikTok shop.
I'm not into the speculation to the point of bringing people down over nothing, but like $7,600 for a t-shirt, and then there's like little subtle hints. It's like they bring God into it, so there's no way you could think it's that. And I don't know. Like I said, I don't like speculating to the point where the wrong person gets in trouble. Something's fishy there, and she spotted it.
People to investigate of what's going on, because I don't know what to do here other than to get the word out of what's going on. I'm really concerned. There's human trafficking going on. I remember this happened in Wayfair a couple of years ago, where they were like selling random items for thousands of dollars, and it ended up being human trafficking. I don't know if that's going on, but I'm concerned that it is. Share this video, get it out to people that can investigate this, please.
Y'all, TikTok doesn't want me talking about this. They keep silencing my videos so you can't hear me whatsoever. Little shady there, TikTok. Why are you trying to protect them? So, back on this Heaven's Child that has no picture, no background, nothing, only selling 2 t-shirts for $7,600. Yeah, we're going to talk about it. 157 people have put this in their carts. Why do you have this in your carts? Why is there so many people putting this in your carts? There's other ways to like save something, but they have this one in their carts and nobody's doing this one. Hold up. Okay. So I was like, maybe let's do a little investigating. Maybe the t-shirts like look like this are 7,600. Similar products right in the TikTok shop, $1, $14, $11, $4, $5, not 7,600. Let's check out the other one. Maybe they're justified. Let's click on the similar products page that's in the shop. The exact same t-shirt, $4, $3. This is not a mistake. This is in TikTok shop. Peep the red shoes right here. I can't talk about the theory on TikTok because I'll definitely get this removed and they're already trying to silence me. Look up the red shoe theory. It's directly related to what I think this shop is.
That's not the first time I heard about it. They say it's tied into missing children, and that's why the disclaimer is at the beginning.
Actually selling, because it's certainly not these t-shirts. And I was like, let's message the shop. Got the bot to talk to me. I was like, what size products do you have? And they were telling me, and I was like, do you have a sizing chart? And they just sent me the basic one that TikTok provides everybody. Then I got real. I was like, why is your product so expensive? Hold on. As soon as I said, why is your product so expensive? I'm sorry, I don't know how to answer that, but I'm always learning. I'll connect you with a human agent right away, right? Then I get this lovely little message, hang tight, we're connecting you. Never got connected. I waited an entire day before I messaged back again. And I messaged, have you sold any of this item? Because that's something that I would like to know. Have you sold any? How long have you been a store? Because I only saw them the other day and they've been up there for the entire time that I've been talking about this. TikTok has not taken them down. Still no reply. So then I messaged them again, back, nothing. Nobody's talking to me. But if you look right up here, typically responds within an hour. How? Are they talking about just the bot that responds? Because there's no person talking to me. They don't want to answer my questions.
She's convinced. I wouldn't say she's wrong. It's sketchy for sure.
There's a lot of really good theories in the comments of my first video about this, but I think everyone can agree this is fishy. If it was just a conversion issue of currency, why are they not messaging me back? If it was just, maybe that's the quality of a t-shirt that it is. Why is the similar products button directly in the TikTok shop show me $1, $11, like a normal t-shirt price? Yep. This is not a normal t-shirt price. Something is going on. And TikTok shop does not let you report people. They don't let you report shops. They just share it. Comment, tag people, share this.
It's going to get to the point, too, where companies are going to just send you away with AI, and you're not going to be able to get a real representative on the phone. And that's not even the big picture. The big picture here is that they could be selling,
So it gets to people that they can see what's going on so that we can try and get to the bottom of this. We definitely got more than we had in our first video, so it's working.
So she has one final update. The shop owner eventually reached out to her and they said this, but something about this still feels very off.
So I have the best possible update that could have come from this situation. Just wait. Guys, because of these videos, we were able to get in touch with this shop's owner, the actual owner. I've got the messages going behind me if you want to read them. She reached out and was saying that she lost access to the account for that shop. And I said, okay, a little bit skeptical of whether or not it actually was the owner. She said she was going to reach out to TikTok and find out if she can get access back. And she actually did. She let me know that she was able to change the prices, showing that she was actually the owner of the account and had gotten access back to her account, which is amazing. This is just a reminder to all shop owners. If you start an account with a business, whether that's TikTok shop, Instagram, start your own website, if you lose access to that site, you need to do everything that you can to get access back.
because you don't know who's taking over your stuff. And she's right. Her name was attached to this. Her family members were pictured in the photos. You guys have a internet footprint that you leave behind, and you need to make sure that you clean it up behind yourself. Just because you're not doing something nefarious with your shop, if you lose access, you don't know what that next person's going to do. Do what you can to get it back as quickly as you can. This is why I posted on TikTok, to try and get to the bottom of things, because TikTok is amazing at getting to the right people that it needs to get to. Now, there's a bunch of other shops that I think we need to do the same for. So I have the best possible update that could have come from this situation. Just wait.
I don't know. Something about this is still very weird.
Something ain't right about that shop. Even though they fixed it, the lady said she lost access. Something ain't right. People, if you lose access to an account, do everything you can to get access back to that account. She's absolutely right. It's your boy Spank Dog. Much love. I'm out of here. Peace.